All right, we're going to get started with this. I'll let people in as we go. Uh, Hi, everybody. I'm Mac with Veterans Achieve Business Systems. Um, Today we have a very poignant topic. Greg Jameson, who is our featured speaker, is known as the AI architect. And as we were just talking before the recorders started, AI is one of the most noticeable tools that any of us can have in developing our business, no matter what that business box looks like. Um, as I've come to, believe myself, I know how to get in. I don't know how to move around. I don't understand the prompts. I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm always amazed after I've used uh, one of the AI platforms, I guess I'd refer to it, how it makes me sound so smart. Uh, and that I'm sure there's English teachers from high school rolling over in the graves when I uh, put words out there because the grammar's pretty darn good. The topics are pretty good. For me, I'm trying to become more proficient with how I use it. I still have to give my input. It's kind of like GPS. GPS may get you to where you wanted to go, but it may not always be the best road. I was going up to Jackson Hole a few years back, and GPS was telling me that there was a shortcut and that through a little town called Empire, Wyoming. And I got up there and there was like a store that was there, a gas station. They both were only open 2 days out of the week. And when I got past that little town of Empire, my truck started having problems. And I was on a dirt road and it was a four-wheel drive dirt road. And fortunately, I was able to get turned around. My cell phone didn't work. I got turned around and got far enough back towards Highway 80 that I could get a flatbed out there to tow my truck. But what I found is this road went over the top of a mountain. It was probably a dirt trail, a deer trail, or whatever you want to call it. And yes, it may have gotten me where I was supposed to go, but it may not have been the best trip. And I kind of view that with AI, Greg, because there's so many different platforms. I mean, I think most of us heard about ChatGPT. It was all over the news a couple of years ago. And then when I tried to sign up for the platform, there was like 20 different flavors of ChatGPT, and I'm going, which one did I pay for? I thought I bought this. I was looking through my old receipts, online as to what I paid just so I could get back into the platform that I knew. And now there's so many different ones. For the novice, I don't know how we keep it all straight. And what's the best one? What's the affordable one? What are prompts? And so I'm hoping to gain a little bit more insight today with your expertise for some of that guidance. I'm going to let you take it over, buddy.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of the questions that you posed there, and a whole bunch of thoughts were going through my mind as you talked about it. Uh, just to lay a little background for anyone that's on the meeting today, uh, ch AI has actually been around since 1955. That's when a guy named Mike McCarthy first coined the term artificial intelligence. He was working for MIT at the time. So I wasn't even born yet. When I tell people that I've been involved with uh, developing AI applications since the mid 1980s, they frequently raise their eyebrows like they can't believe it's been around that long. Uh, I can't believe I've been around that long sometimes, but the fact is that AI is not new. What did happen, uh, what Mac was referring to is a few years ago is ChatGPT came out and it used a totally new type of architecture called a transformer. And the GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And that basically broke the whole AI market wide open to the point where, uh, as Mac was saying, now today we've got a whole bunch of different AI tools out there, and people are confused as to what they should be using. As a general rule, ChatGPT is still the most dominant and probably the best choice for a beginner to get started with in terms of just entering you're having a conversation with a machine basically. So you don't really need to be worried about, oh, am I doing my prompts right and so forth. Uh, you're working with natural language, so there are things you can do to maybe get better output. But if you don't get the output right the first time, you're having a conversation with it and it's iterative. If the AI comes back and says something that you weren't expecting or that's not the kind of result that you wanted, you just reframe the question and ask it again, and it does a pretty good job of it. So which one should you be using? The thing that's happened is that there are actually literally thousands of AI tools out there anymore. Uh, if you're thinking just in terms of a generic AI chatbot that competes with ChatGPT, the big ones out there right now are Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, Perplexity, and Anthropic Claude. You might throw X's Grok in there as well. So those are kind of the big ones that are just generic AI chatbots. Sitting on top of all of those, there is a programming layer that's called an API, or application programming interface. And all of these tools have APIs that allow you to go in and build tools on top of them, uh, which is the reason why there are so many hundreds or thousands of AI tools out there now, is they're all tying in through an API to access one or more of these other tools. And that's how I've been building my applications, is uh, utilizing a combination of APIs from multiple AI platforms, uh, combined with a term that's called vibe coding right now, where vibe coding is not really a very good name for it, but the idea is that many of these AI tools actually generate computer code better than humans can right now. So at one point in time, I had like 30 employees working for me, and I am getting more done today just with AI coding than I was with having 30 employees under me. You want
So
me to keep rolling here?
yeah. No, and I think that, the confusion is what I alluded to, and what you're saying here. You're talking about the top main ones, and I just heard about Claude not too long ago, and um, I think it was Amanda that had sent me some prompts on Claude. I've been playing with Grok here recently, but I think we all need to know, are there specific genres that each, and I refer to them as platforms, each AI program that is better for one subject or one genre than another? How do you know which one you should go play with? Because we're taking time and we're trying to figure it out and working our way through it. Is there a guide to understanding which one we should be spending some time with?
You know, I should probably write a blog post exactly about that since I generate a blog article every week. But the answer is absolutely yes. Uh, they any of those that we've mentioned so far will all do the same basic thing. If you're simply asking it a question to, hey, generate some content for me, they will all do that. But the fact is that they all have their strengths. ChatGPT is, like I said, it's great for beginners because it provides good generic answers to anything that you throw at it. More importantly, uh, as a brainstorming tool, that's my go-to. It does a really good job of looking at the whole picture and coming up with alternatives and suggesting ways that you can do certain things. Claude, on the other hand, is noted for two things. One is its writing capabilities. It tends to write more human-like than most of the others. And the second is its coding capabilities. So when I'm actually creating some AI tools, which I'll show you a few here in a minute, I will use ChatGPT to help me clarify what it is that I'm trying to do, come up with the general idea, and then I will take that into Claude to code it. Uh, if you're looking for creating images, the best tool out there right now is Google Gemini. Specifically, the name of their tool within Google Gemini, they call it Nano Banana, and it makes the best images. Google also has a bunch of other tools that are really sweet that do specific things. They have one called NotebookLM that will generate podcasts for you. It will generate videos for you. It will generate slide decks for you for presentations and infographics, number of other things. So that they have kind of concentrated on specific things that they want to be the best at. So the answer is yes. And quite honestly, I use them all. If I was to say, hey, which one do I use the most? I know for a fact that it's Claude right now because of the fact that I'm doing more programming than most people. But I rely pretty heavily on both ChatGPT and Google Gemini. And of course, I play with Copilot and Perplexity and Grok too.
I've not heard Copilot. I've heard the Perplexity, and like I said, I'm starting to hear more about Claude. In fact, I was watching some news channel the other day, and one of their experts was talking about Claude. What the perspective that I'm getting is that there's some of these things that and I haven't tried to do it, is I can build a Mac profile so that it sounds like me or how I would talk. I have no reservations to say that when I'm writing, I have all kinds of ideas, but I can't put them down on paper. so that they're in some cohesive format. And so I use Grok and ChatGPT mostly to put that into an understandable format. Uh, am I correct that I can build my own profile so people know this is Mac and this is how he talks and we understand what he's saying?
You can absolutely do that. And you can do that with most of the tools. At the same time, most of the tools are continually learning. So even though GPT, as I said, stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformer, and OpenAI, the parent company of ChatGPT, goes out once a year and scrapes the entire internet and uh, pre-trains itself on all of the information that it can find. As you're going through and utilizing these tools, they are continuing to learn more and more about you and your writing style and the things that you actually like. You can turn that feature off, but uh, they get smarter over time and they get smarter specifically for you. With both ChatGPT and Claude, they have something that are called projects, and you can create a project and you can give that project information about a specific thing. So, for example, uh, one of my clients is a home automation company, and they have me write a blog post for them a couple times a month. So I've got a project on Claude that defines everything that I can get my hands on about that particular company and what their company vision is, uh, how they like to communicate that vision to their customers and so forth, so that I can just dump in a few sentences of, hey, I want to write a blog post about this particular, whatever it might be. Let's say it is a whole house audio system where the speakers are built into the walls. Uh, I can give it the name of the product and what it is I'm trying to convey to their clients who are primarily builders. And the builders are representing the homeowner. So both homeowners and builders are kind of the target market for them. And I just dump a couple sentences in there about that, and it will create the entire blog post for me that sounds exactly like their company and that somebody at their company wrote it.
Uh,
In addition to that, in the general settings, you can actually specify things that you want the AI to always do. And for example, one of the things that people have gotten hung up on in the last year is that AI tends to write with something that's called an EM dash rather than uh, a semicolon that used to be kind of the thing that everybody used. People will now put a dash in there. Personally, I've been doing that for years, but now if you use that, people go, oh, that was written by AI. So what you can do is you can go in there and give it specific instructions. Never use an EM dash when writing. And for the most part, it will uh, tend to obey you. There are times that it's like, no, an EM dash is simply the best way to convey this thought, so I'm going to use it anyway. But you can definitely go in and tell it those kinds of things.
well, I think that the controversy, everybody thinks that it's we're going to see Arnold Schwarzenegger show up and the world's going to be taken over by machines, and I don't really have that kind of fear myself. Um if it sounds too perfect, I think people question what's the validity. Is it my thoughts that I'm putting back out there, or is it 100% AI? And I don't have a clue of what I said. I'm putting it in and I'm copying it and putting it out there just to put something on LinkedIn or something. I like the fact that you can actually shut off certain areas so that you're controlling it. And I think that makes us more intelligent because we know when to turn that switch off.
Yeah, and yeah, let's go ahead and address the whole thing of AI kind of taking over the world, and we're all going to be slaves to robots. Uh, it is entirely unlikely that that's going to happen in any of our lifetimes. Uh, I'm not going to say that it could never happen, because the fact is machines do get smarter, and they or get exponentially smarter. But the big difference is that machines do not have a desire of any kind. They have no desire to control human beings. They have no desire to not control human beings. They're totally agnostic when it comes to desire. That's not something that we have ever been able to program into a machine, is to create desire. So, uh, is the machine looking to purposefully destroy humanity? No, and that's not going to happen right now. The fact is that AI is software, and it's possible, of course, for humans, being the weak link in the whole equation, for humans to go out there and say, I want to control the world, and therefore I'm going to make my machine do this for me. But the machine itself, that's not going to happen. If we ever see that happening, it's because there's some human behind it that is a bad character, not because the machine or the AI itself is.
Well, and without getting too political, I'm a believer that there's always bad guys or bullies out in the world, and that we have to recognize who they are and not allow them to gain that kind of control. Does the industry itself self-govern? If there is that, wacko that's out there in the world, are there 20 other people that are saying, we're not going to let you play that game and we're stopping you? Is there some
Yeah.
sort of overreach on that?
Right now, there's very little uh, interference from any government or any regulations whatsoever. Uh, you know, AI is still kind of the Wild West. But if we look at it like nuclear power, nuclear power can be used for good. It generates lots of energy, and we all like being able to turn our lights on and turn our computers on. At the same time, nuclear power could be used to destroy the planet if you have bad characters out there using it. So, uh, AI at some point is going to reach that. We aren't there yet. Uh, the thing that, we talk a lot about AI is taking over people's jobs. People are losing their jobs because of AI, uh, which we can talk in depth about that for forever. But the thing that's happening is that um, the lawyers are the ones that are going to be, as we talk about governance and stuff, the lawyers are going to be the ones here that make a pile of money off of AI just because they like to litigate. Uh, and all of those laws that are governing things to keep bad people from doing bad things with AI, uh, they're not really out there yet. I think that's going to be a big change that we see over the next number of years is that we are going to start to see more and more laws and more control over what we can and cannot do with AI. But right now, if I want to go out there and create a deep fake of Mac doing something bad, there's nothing to prevent me from doing that other than the
You don't
fact
have
that
to make
Mac.
that up. It's already out there.
I was going to say, other than the fact that Mac's going to get mad at me, uh, there's nothing preventing me from doing it, and certainly we see that in the political arenas now. And you can't believe anything because of it. The AIs have gotten really good at it, and we see celebrities of all kinds, not just political characters, doing things that darn good and well they didn't do, but you can't tell that they didn't, and until the laws catch up with the technology, we're going to be in that situation.
Well, I don't know if it's because I'm the old guy in the room, but there were people that lived off livery stables and buggy whips and all kinds of things, and those jobs aren't around. I lived through the photo industry where all the money was driven because of film. And then digital came along, and then cell phones came along. So I saw the photo industry totally take a shift. And I think that we all have to be ready for that. How do we use what the new technology is, the new tool, so that we can gain uh, some sort of value out of it and move on to the next best thing, because 10 years from now, it's probably not going to be ChatGPT unless it's an expanded, newer version of it. So, recognizing that it's not something to be fearful of, it's something to get some knowledge about and move forward, and finding people like you. And I don't know, Greg, we haven't really talked that much. Um, if somebody either watching live today or watching the recording of this, do you or are there other people that offer a more intensive coaching class or course or something so they can understand more?
Yeah, there's couple of things you're asking about there. One is the whole shift, and the the best thing I can say about that actually is uh, I wrote this book. It's called Bluff: The Day AI Called Humanity's Hand, uh, and it addresses a lot of those concerns. Uh, what is what are we going to do as this shift occurs? Because the fact is that AI is not coming for your job. It's coming for tasks that you do within your job. And if you think about it that way and you think, okay, so AI can do this particular task better than I can do it, then how can I leverage it so that I can actually uh, make AI a part of our lives? Because uh, in a couple of years, AI is not going to be seen as a a separate technology. It's going to be built into absolutely every technology that we have. It's clearly already becoming infrastructure, and it's going to continue to be that way. We're going to get a new appliance, and AI is going to be built into that appliance. We're not going to say, uh, it's kind of like electricity. Electricity is now infrastructure. We don't say, "Oh, I need to learn electricity." What do you mean by I need to learn electricity? To learn circuit diagrams and wiring of my house, or simply that I can go over and flip on a light switch and the light goes on? You don't need to learn it. It's built into everything we do, and AI is becoming that same kind of infrastructure. So it's going to take over tasks within jobs. And as a result of that, all of those jobs are going to definitely shift. And humans are pretty adaptable. We may not have buggy whip manufacturers anymore, but the fact is there's still some leather workers out there that do really good jobs. So they've had to shift. Uh, you were asking about courses and so forth too. One of the big things that I see is that there are so many people out there that are claiming to be experts in AI. And I think that you really need to step back and ask yourself, if you look at the equation of what does it take to become an expert, the kind of industry standard forever is it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert at something. Well, if you calculate the number of work hours from the time that ChatGPT was released until now, there aren't 10,000 hours out there. So anybody that started doing AI when ChatGPT first came out and they're saying, I'm now an expert and I can certify you in this or whatever, I would be really skeptical. The fact is you're probably as much of an expert as they are. Uh, Now, because they may be working at it full time, they may have discovered a few tips and tricks that can help you. So I wouldn't discount them completely, but I would just be leery of somebody saying, hey, I'm going to certify you in AI, or I'm going to teach you how you're going to make $1 million with AI or whatever. It's still the Wild West.
Okay. What
So
type of questions and there, some of the folks watching this may um, be in the same position as me. I don't consider myself an expert in any of this. I just understand that I have to have basic understanding. I've never, when I talk to people, uh, people building websites or building the YouTube channel, I don't want to be an expert in it. I don't want to know how it works. Um, in the photo industry, I had a company that I represented called Pocket Wizard, and it was you'd put a transmitter on your camera and on your lights wirelessly. You would put the receiver, and when you fired the camera, the lights would go off. And I would have photographers come up to me at a trade show and say, well, how does it work? I said, well, you put a transmitter here, you put a receiver here, you push the button. I said, no, how does the current go? Does it go to the right? Does it go to the left? And I said, why would you want to know that? And that it just does. But I want to know that I got to turn them on. I got to set it to the right transmission channel. And if there's 10 other photographers, like in a press conference, maybe 4 channels isn't enough. So I got to get the advanced model that has 20 channels. But we had a guy, he actually invented Minolta and Sekonic light meters, and that he developed the products I was selling at the time. And we called him the Nutty Professor. I mean, this guy was goofy, but he could tell you why the current went to the right and what the functionality of it was. I look at all different tools like this, technology tools, the same way. I don't want to know. I just want to push the button and have it work. How do we or what is the purpose of knowing anything more than that?
uh, the only purpose in knowing more than that is if you're going to be involved in developing AI applications like I am, if you're going to be involved in simply using them, like I said, it's kind of like electricity. You don't need to know how electricity works. You don't need to know how to wire your house. You simply need to know that I can go over to the wall and flip the switch and the light comes on. So, yeah, you don't need to know most of that. Um, I think that if it's okay with you, I think this might be a good segue into
Sure.
showing a couple of the AI tools that I've
Yeah,
developed.
send me the request. I did see Sonia had posted a question. I think the answer was Google Gemini. Sonia, you want to be more specific on what that question was about, which platform he was speaking of?
It was when you were talking about there, it's really good for slides, podcasts, and images.
Okay, yeah, that is it's called NotebookLM, and you can
LMN,
just
notebook,
LM,
what? LN.
LM.
Okay,
Uh,
thank you. I'll put it in my notes.
it's notebooklm.google.com, and I will put that in the chat.
Thank you. And also, before you go in, I had another question. You said that AI hasn't probably been around long enough to have 10,000 hours of AI expertise to have anyone certify you in that. Is, can you qualify that a little bit better? Because I want to make sure I understood you correctly.
Yeah, if we look at the release date of uh, the when ChatGPT became public, uh, I mean, people started using it. The official release date was uh, the end of November of 2022. Uh, so if we say, okay, we're about 3.5 years out from that, and there are 2,048 work hours in a year, take 3.5 times 2,000, and you're looking at, somebody that's been working at it full time since ChatGPT first became publicly available has got maybe 7,000 hours in there. So in another year and a half, people will legitimately be able to claim that they are experts if that's when they started. Uh, to
I
be to be perfectly honest, uh, I didn't call myself an expert in AI for years uh, because I'm still learning things all the time, and I started decades ago. So,
And
well,
does it, when,
having
go ahead.
so having other certifications in other fields, it wasn't required of me to have 10,000 hours to get a certification. I mean, like I'm certified as an NLP coach 6 times. I've put in a lot of hours there, and then I have the ICC International Coaching Federation certifications, which do require like to coach people many like 2,500 hours or so on and so forth to be a master. And so I guess from an academic standpoint, I don't necessarily agree with that statement that you have to have 10,000 hours to be an expert and able to teach it, because I've taught college classes. I do have my master's. So I love what you're saying, but that one thing just kind of I just want to push back on, because I believe you can be an expert in
it's
anything as long as you have the right foundation and the right advanced training.
I'm not arguing with that at all. The 10,000 hour thing came out of Malcolm Gladwell's book called Outliers, and that's where that whole thing started. Uh, the the fact is if you're teaching something, the reality is you only need to be one chapter ahead of where your students are. Uh,
Right.
Yes,
I've taught college
I've heard
classes
that.
before, and I can absolutely tell you that's the case. Uh,
Yeah, I agree.
Well, and the definitions, I think of like trades where you're an apprentice, you're a journeyman, and you're a master electrician.
Hmm.
Is certification different than expert in the definitive manner? Um, but with something like AI, it's changing so rapidly that maybe you have that 7,000 hours, but 3,000 hours of that 7,000 don't count anymore because it's old news.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's why we
absolutely.
constantly have to be upgrading our skills.
Hmm. Good point, Mac.
Yep. So,
I gave you permission to share, Greg. I'm not seeing anything.
okay,
Thank you, Greg, for your explanation. Appreciate it.
sure. And I'm going to start by, since the question just came up about Notebook LM, this is Notebook LM. And what you're going to do when you get into it is you're going to create a new notebook and you're going to put in whatever you want to. You can put in websites, you can upload files, you can put in copied text. I'm just going to put in my website just to show you how it works. And we'll just use that as the basis of the what we're going to do. And I'm going to go ahead and say that's the title of it. And then you can see on the right that you can get an audio overview, which basically creates a podcast based upon whatever information it finds from this. You can create a mind map, a quiz, a slide deck, like a PowerPoint presentation, reports.
What's a mind map?
It's in a relational diagram of like circles. If you start with a main circle and like your idea, your brainstorming, say Mac, you're gonna have this business, and then you want to have another like a
Oh,
sub hub, and then you have your branches off that.
okay, thank you.
Yeah. And you can create a video. I'll just go ahead and create a video and you can see that you've got some choices here. Is this going to be an explainer video or a brief video? The output language, the style that you want. You can say what you want it to focus on. Uh, I don't know, let's just pick a style and say generate. It takes a little bit of time to generate it. Uh, it says over here it's generating this video overview. This may take a while. So I'll come back and show you the video here after I show you the other items that I was going to show you. But uh, it's a fun little tool. Okay, so the first tool that I want to show you is what I'm calling my AI authority scan. And here's what has happened to the internet in the last 12 months is that AI search is becoming more popular than traditional search engines. Even if you still go to Google and do your search, what happens is at the top of the search, they have what they call their AI overview. And the AI overview is, uh, it provides an answer for you. If you use ChatGPT or Perplexity or Claude or whatever and say, hey, I'm looking for the best ice cream shop in Denver, uh, the AI is going to give you an answer. It's not going to give you 10 links anymore where you have to click on the link and go out there and look at somebody's website. It's simply going to come up and say, the best ice cream shop in Denver, and I happen to know that all of the AIs are doing this, is Little Man Ice Cream. Uh, and the reason for it is yada, yada, yada. Uh, and so it gave you the answer. You don't have to click on a link anymore to get the information that you're looking for. So given that that's happened, I put together this AI authority scanning tool, and I will put that link in the chat as well. You can use this tool for free, but I'm going to simply put in some information. I'm going to pick on my own website again. Sometimes when I'm doing workshops, I'll ask people to volunteer uh, to see what their websites are going to score on this. I can tell you right now that if you put your own website in this, and I strongly encourage you to do that, uh, it if you get a score above 40, you are doing better than most people. It's simply most people have not optimized their online presence for AI yet. And the idea is you want to be someone, you want your business to be something that is recommended by the AI engines when people are doing this. You can see that there's some additional choices down here. If it's an e-commerce website, it evaluates it a little bit differently than if it's just an informational site. If you are a local business, you're running a house cleaning service, obviously that's a local business. You're not doing things all over the world or all over the country. And if you are a coach or consultant, I'm going to put that in here because it asked me a couple of additional questions when I select that answer. And I'm just going to say that I provide AI coaching and my ideal customer. How do I get new customers? You can check as many as you want to. If you're using paid ads, whatever. Do you have a documented process? And what's your biggest challenge? Whatever it is. And then you run the diagnostic. Takes about 90 seconds to run this because it does not just scan your website, it scans your entire online presence. So, do you have a LinkedIn channel? Do you have a YouTube channel? Are you on podcasts and so forth? And you can see that I get this readiness index of 85. I worked pretty hard to get that score because I went in and have done a bunch of research on what does it take to actually get AI to recommend me. One of the things that you can see that I am lacking is offsite reputation. I need more Google reviews, and I'm fully aware of it. But it gives you all of this output. And if you go to the findings tab, you can see that it found my LinkedIn profile, my YouTube channel, my podcasts, speaker directories, all of these things, Facebook. The only thing that I haven't put anything on is GitHub, but it found a couple of crucial files that AIs look at, and it gives you all of the information that you need as to what it found, what's inferred, what's missing, that you can go in and fix on your website. It takes it a step further. Well, let me just go through each tab. It goes through what's called the EAT tab. That was a term that was coined by Google, stands for expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trust. So it gives you an EAT score and shows you again where you're shining and what's missing. Who your competition is within the AI world, not within, the best ice cream shop in Denver type example, might be someone that might be another ice cream shop in Denver, but it may also just be because of the way people ask AI questions, it may be something entirely different. So in my case, it thinks that Neil Patel is my biggest AI competitor. He's not really doing that much with AI, to be perfectly honest. He's always been an SEO person. AI perception shows you what AI is currently saying about you, why it may have hedged, and if you fix all these things, what AI is likely to say after you fix all of these things. The vision tab, again, it shows you information here, and if you've got a bunch of Google reviews, it will show you those under there as well. But here's the really important thing is that it actually creates the code for you that you need to have yourself or your webmaster implement on your website to boost your score. And the deployment tab goes through and it gives you step-by-step instructions on exactly how to do that. So this, if you're getting a score of under 40, which like I said, you're likely to happen the first time that you try this, work on the things that it suggests and your score will go up. That still doesn't mean that you're going to be recommended by AI when somebody asks, but it means that your chances are improved. Your crawlers, all of the different AI bots, whether or not they can access your site or not. So there's also a report that you can generate that is going to be a narrative explaining what all those numbers mean. And you can generate that report. It will email you the report when it gets done. This report doesn't take quite as long as the initial analysis did, but it still takes 30 to 60 seconds, I guess. And then it gives you this entire report that you can look at. And if you are saying that you were a subject matter expert, a coach, or a consultant, it breaks that down for you as well. At that point, you can continue and it's going to give you some other options as to what you can do. But the second thing I wanted to show you before we might run out of time here today is what I'm calling a replicator coach. And since most of the people on this are members of Achieve Systems, I'm going to show you the example here for Achieve. And essentially what you can do is you can go to this, and I'll put that in the chat area as well, that link. But this particular one, it has a dual coach output, or you can pick just Jason Miller or just Robert Raymond to give you feedback. And you can say something like, evaluate my business plan. And then I'm going to upload a business plan, which in this case is a document. You can actually upload videos, you can upload Excel files, you can upload images, pretty much any kind of a file you want to throw at it, you can do that. And then you say, well, here's a choice of display key performance indicators. So these are all things that if you are tracking these, the AI version of Rob and Jason will evaluate these for you as well. I'm not going to do that for right now. I'm just going to say to provide feedback. And if you are providing a video, it will actually, let me go ahead and show you a video example. This one I already did, but this is a speech evaluation. So it's evaluating a speech that I gave. And we have this coach Renee that is providing the feedback, but it transcribes the video. So you're not only seeing the motions, it will do motion capture because I originally developed this for a baseball coach that was utilizing it for evaluating how somebody was swinging a bat. So during the frame capture, it evaluates your motion, but it also transcribes the audio out of it so that if I ask it to give me the feedback on this, it knows what the speech was about. So I'm just going to hit the speak button so you can hear just a few minutes of this.
Hey, Greg, your speech is really engaging and packed with vivid storytelling. That skydiving story is a gem, perfectly illustrating your message about fear and potential. A couple of tweaks could make it even stronger, like breaking down some complex sentences for clarity.
So you'll notice that it's not reading the written evaluation, it's complementary to the written evaluation. Let's jump back over to the Achieve Strategic Alliance one, and you can see that both Rob and Jason gave output on the business plan that I uploaded. There are relevant videos that it shows you as well. And if I hit speak on this, then it actually utilizes their voices.
Hey, Greg. So here's the deal.
Oh,
Your
wow.
AIO visibility platform is right on the money with this shift towards AI generated answers. The
So you can see that that's Rob's voice, and here's Jason's voice.
Greg, what stands out to me is your clear vision for positioning AIO visibility as a category leader.
All of these things are kept track of in your sessions, and you can get a report card of it. There's a whole bunch of features. I could show you all of this stuff for literally another hour. I'm not going to do that. I know we're going to be out of time, but right now, the Achieve Strategic Alliance version of this, Rob and Jason have made it available at no charge to Achieve members.
Excellent. And obviously an hour's not enough of your time, Greg. Yeah, I want more.
Well, we can talk again.
Yes,
Too.
well, we will do that. We're up again. We're actually over the hour. Any last minute questions that won't wait for a private conversation? Okay. Greg, thanks for doing this. I think, as I talk, it's like we're dipping our toes into this, into the creek, but you got to jump in to get baptized. Um, I look forward to more of this. You're going to be at a conference in June in
I will
Denver.
be. Yep.
Okay, good.
And university in May.
Okay, and did you put your contact information in the chat? I didn't see it.
I will.
Please do.
I was going to say the best way to get a hold of me is actually schedule a call. So I'm just going to put that
A calendar link or something.
calendar link in there.
Well, and I highly recommend those of us that are on the live version of the mastermind, and then we post these within the next day, both on the Veterans Achieve Business Systems YouTube channel and the .com website. You can also see the full video to gather the information. Greg, yeah, I know that you and I have to have more conversations. It's been enjoyable, seeing you and your bride at the music thing we did the other night with the Rob's father's band remake. I look forward to getting to know you better, buddy, and that
Good.
it's so much information. My head's like blowing up. I'm going to have to find that little emoji where the guy's head is blowing off. 'Cause that's where I'm at right now with this. I want to thank you for coming. I'm going to stop the recorder.